Welcome to the Jets 2-Minute Drill Game Review. We are presented by Novo Nordisk, driving innovation in diabetes care for nearly 100 years. Eric Allen with Anthony Becht inside the BetMGM studios. Well, for a moment there, it looked like both the Jets and the Eagles were going to be playing in the 40s today. 6 possessions, 3 apiece. Each team went down the field with touchdowns, and it was a shootout. But the Jets didn't get any points in the second half, and the Eagles go home with a 33-18 victory.
Yeah, you're right. Offensively, this team did start off really well. Zach Wilson looked hot. They got some special teams in the mix to start the game. Basically, that first drive is about exactly how you want to draw up a game plan to come out of the locker room to start a game. But, defense was a struggle for both teams in this game. And unfortunately, as the game went on, in particular the second half, the Jets couldn't find a way to get off the field. I think it was 70 seconds the Jets had the ball in the third quarter, which proved to be the difference. Because even though those 6 possessions there were, or those first 3 possessions for the Jets were scores, the Eagles did the same thing. They countered. The kicking game was obviously not good, but that did change a little bit on how you wanted to score. Even though they matched 3 possessions for 3 possessions, the score wasn't the same. So, when you talk about the second half offensively, not getting in a flow, you go a quick 3 and out. You weren't able to get something generated at that point. Eagles did the job where they needed to go there defensively. Offensively, couldn't get things going. And then, of course, that long time not having the ball. And then you finally get that nice drive in the fourth quarter. And then, of course, the interception when you're trying to push it down the field when you can't really mix in the run as much. So that's kind of how it was a synopsis of the game. It was really a tale of 2 halves, but defensively, it was a tale of the entire game.
What did you make of Zach Wilson's performance? The script was kind of flipped today because for a while here during his rookie season, he struggled to get out of the gate. But he was hot here in the first half.
Listen, the first half was great. It's fantastic. You'd like to have something happen in the third quarter. It didn't. But again, you got to get off the field if you're a defense as well to get those possessions and opportunities back to the offense. That one drive in the fourth quarter, that's a confidence builder for the quarterback. I thought Zach did an excellent job. He's a big reason why those 3 drives scored. In that fourth quarter, it was a situation where you're down 2 scores, and now here's your situation. You get on the field, you drive them down the field. Had 2 drops in that drive, and then, of course, that ball sailed over the top of the head of Crowder in that situation. So, look, it's a nice piece of work there for a half of a football game to get something out of what you wanted to see out of your quarterback. But unfortunately, it's not just going to be about him and the offense. It's got to be a collective effort. If you don't get the defense to dial in and make some stops and help you, in particular in the first half, then it's going to be a tough ask for your young quarterback to constantly score every single possession.
Yeah, you just mentioned it. Defensively, you get 13 tackles from Quincy Williams and C.J. Mosley, but Philadelphia, they score on their first 7 possessions of this game. And that third quarter was a killer because you went into halftime. That was a close game. They held the ball for nearly 14 minutes in the third quarter.
Yeah, 14 minutes in football time. I think it was like an hour and a half in real time. So you hadn't done anything as a quarterback and offense. You haven't hit anybody. I mean, you wouldn't go that long ever, not doing any type of offensive activity. So that's tough to come on the field in those situations. So they could have controlled their situation, not going 3 and out to start their first possession of the second half. But listen, it's part of football. So defense had to find a way to get off the field. Obviously, circumstances. Minshew was a different piece of the game plan defensively today. But let's not mistake the fact that, quarterbacks are quarterbacks in the NFL. Coach Saleh talked about it's going to be the same type of offense, just not the running style quarterback. They're still doing the RPO games and everything else that they're doing. And you weren't able to kind of lock down that defensively. And, of course, a guy like Goddard in that game, the tight end, really not a lot of answers. You had a couple guys fall down in coverage. You just can't have that kind of stuff if you want to win. And this was a very winnable game for this football team today, and it was an opportunity missed.
But the bottom line was the Eagles were the better team today. The New York Jets fall to 3-9 on the year. For Anthony Becht, I'm Eric Allen.